Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast Football Friday Live Edition. Victor King, Marc Lawrence, Sean Higgs coming at you as we always do here on our Friday Live Winner Circle YouTube channel. Hit that like button, notification bell, subscribe. I got it playing in the background here because I was about to tweet out the link. Be sure to follow, subscribe, notification bells on here for all of our live stuff here on Friday and on Monday Night Football, but also all the free pick videos we put out here Monday through Saturday. Free picks galore, NFL, college football, NBA, whatever whets your appetite, except for hockey, because who does that? No hockey. It's football season, and college basketball's underway, so not much on the ice side of things. Now, this is a free pick video. Last week, a disappointing 1-2 in the picks. It happens. We're 21-13 though, right? We always talk about streaks and long term and not one day or one game. 21-13 on Football Fridays. Pretty darn good. We're gonna straighten that ship out. We want to get that 3-0 so Mark can get some Bruce Springsteen played in here at the beginning.
I'm looking for it, man.
I blame him for the losing day. He brought that out, and all of a sudden we spit the bit there. But it happens. We could go. It's all right. Again, free picks here. gamblersWORLD.net, the sponsor, where all of our premium top plays are at. So free picks are great, but if you want the stuff we're really working on, go, cost a little bit. They say the best things in life are free. What is that, like sunshine and air? Everything else costs something, folks. The air is free. That's great. You need that. But anything else you got to pay for, that's life here. We got a leaderboard. Victor King, Marc Lawrence, myself, college hoops, NBA, hockey, NFL, college football. We got you covered there. $99 early bird or weekly pass for college basketball since it's underway. We got games going on right now in college basketball. It is crazy tournament time. You got to love Thanksgiving and November college hoops. Great matchups because you get the smaller schools versus the bigger schools, but loads of tournament stuff all over the place. There's like one going on like this wacko places where you never think it's not just in the Bahamas and Las Vegas and Hawaii. No, there's stuff in West Virginia and Alabama and just the random spots. There was a game in Trenton, New Jersey for a tournament. Are you kidding me, Trenton? I'm from Jersey, folks. Wear your bulletproof vest and Kevlar going to the Trenton basketball tournaments, all right? Listen, Mark, good to see you. Weren't with us last week. You're here this week. Good to see you. How was your weekend? What do you got in store for everybody on a Friday here?
Well, getting ready for another, what I hope is going to be a big weekend. We had a real nice weekend last weekend, and I can simply tell you this, that when the dogs bark, so do we. And it was a nice week for underdogs of the National Football League. It was a nice week for us in college football. We ended up for our phone service going overall 7-1 for the week. So it was a real nice week, and we're looking forward to another round this week.
7-1 is not too shabby.
No.
Although there'll be a Debbie Downer out there saying, "Oh, I had everything wound up in an 8-legger. You cost me," but folks, you know how it is, guys, right? You get those sometimes for people. Victor, my friend, how are you, Mr.
Okay,
Master Yoshi?
Pretty good. Mark wasn't with us last week, but and I know we did not have a profitable week with our free plays here on the podcast, but the plays that we spend a lot of time on, and the plays that we obviously charge money for that time, we've just been crushing it. Mark mentioned his 7-1 ATS week last week in college and pro combined. It started with Michigan, his 4-star dog game of the year. They covered the number easily against Indiana. It finished with the Miami Dolphins, an outright underdog NFL road win on Monday Night Football, 7-1. An outstanding week for Mark. And I know we primarily talk NFL on the show here. However, I got to tell you, our service, we're crushing it with our college football totals this season. I'm just last Saturday, 2 more over winners, a perfect 2-0. The Saturday before that, 4-0 with our overs. In the last 5 weeks now, on Saturdays, we've gone 11-1 ATS. Every selection has been an over in college football. So, I mean, if you're looking for some college shootouts, we usually only play overs in college football, and we've got more action going on. Get yourself over to the gamblersworld.net website. We got a Friday night play in which we're going over the total. We're going over the total on Saturday at 12 noon with a 4-star best bet. Another over on Saturday night. So, again, don't forget the college football totals. We've had a ton of these shootouts, and right now we're on pace for our best college football over-under season of all time for our service.
I usually just brush over, let everybody kind of say how they're doing. I don't really dive into selling myself over how things are going. But my college football, so we do the free picks here. I may name my college football free picks, right? It's terrible. On the year, 77-56, which is pretty darn good. 58%.
Very nice.
NFL, 15-5 here doing the videos with you guys.
Nice.
With Doug and with Matt Fargo, Brian Billard, Chip Trimis. Yeah, on the site, I am 43-48. So I'm actually down a little bit in NFL for the year. And then college football, I'm soaring. And yet the free picks here are completely opposite. 500 in college, 15-5, which is ridiculous for the. So sometimes it's weird how it works out that way, folks. I always say win or lose, always the truth. They're there. You see the records. College football is pretty good. College basketball, 57. I like my college basketball early, guys. I don't know about you. I'm 42-32 out of the gate in a week. So
good start.
I like my college hoops, and I got a 3-pack up there for today if you guys want to get that. But let's get into our NFL for the weekend. We're going to go Mr. Totals, Master Yoshi himself. I can't get that out of my head now because it does look like you. It does look like you. Was Mark?
I still don't know who Master Yoshi is. Maybe
we got to get Seth because then we'll get a picture of it because then we'll bring in a fourth screen and he'll be next to you. Or we just put your lips on him and your lips will just talk.
Oh, that's funny.
Pretty good game, and I try to avoid marquee kind of matchups like this, right? Because chances are, people might have him as a top play. But Kansas City and the Bills. Here we go. Kansas City, a little underdog action, plus 1.5, total 46. Revenge game for Buffalo. I think I said this during the week with either Chip or Matt, whoever I was with. I'm like, I've tried I'm done. I'm going to overthink and outsmart people and take whoever the Chiefs are playing because the other team's favored. That failed last year miserably in the playoffs. I think I said it here between the Bills, the Ravens, and the Niners again. Here they are again as an underdog. What are they thinking putting these guys? They just constantly win. How are they an underdog? They haven't played a good game this year. They're undefeated and they're an underdog. I don't know. Explain to me, Victor. I have no idea.
I'm sure Mark will have some decent numbers in regards to undefeated teams catching points like the Chiefs are. Again, I'm going to attack this one from an over-under perspective. And you did mention, of course, Sean, the revenge motivation for the hosts in this game as well. But we're going to be going under the total, and we're somewhere right around 46. If the game finishes on 45 or on 44, which are both fairly key numbers in the NFL, that means we would still cash a winner in this particular game. And I'll certainly acknowledge that this Buffalo-Kansas City series has been high scoring in the postseason, in the playoffs, 63.7 combined points per game when they play each other in the postseason. However, the same has not been the case in the regular season. The last 5 regular season meetings between these two teams, and because of the schedule, they've been playing each other just about once a year in the regular season. Anyway, the last 5 meetings, 1 over, 4 unders. The average line, 52.3. Average combined points, only 41.6 when these two play each other. Basically, it means the average margin in the regular season when the Chiefs play the Bills minus 10.7 points per game. That's a double-digit average margin on the under. This is one of those 3 fantastic games this weekend featuring opponents who are 700 or higher on the year in regards to their winning percentage. This is one of those 3 games. Philadelphia-Washington last night, that's another game. And the third game, of course, is the Baltimore-Pittsburgh game. But are there any over-under tendencies in our database in non-division play when 2 fantastic teams like this play each other in the regular season? Here's what I've got in the database. over the last 6 years, 1 over, 10 unders. Game 6 or greater, it's non-division play, and both teams are 800 or better on the season, like the Chiefs and Bills are. It's pretty simple, but it's gone 1 over, 10 unders over the last 6 years. Not only that, but individual team trends also look like they're pointing us in the right direction, at least when it comes to the total, guys. The Chiefs, when they play winning opponents, anybody over 500, they've gone 1-9 in their last 10 against winning opponents.
The
That's
defense steps up is what it does. Victor.
9.
Okay.
You better believe you got that right. That's for sure. Not only that, but the Chiefs, as underdogs, have gone 1-7 over under in their last 8 rolls of underdog of less than a touchdown, like they are in this particular game. The Bills, when they play winning opponents, those big games, 5-16-1 over under in the last 3 years versus winning opponents for the Bills, including 1-9 in the last 12 months. You have ideal team trends. We've got some interesting stuff in our database. We've got a low-scoring series history. Oh, and not only that, but it's Patrick Mahomes' worst statistical season of his career right now. I'm on the under, guys.
I totally agree. I think it's a great call.
Under 46 for Victor King here. And why? I mean, you mentioned the Mahomes thing. The crazy thing is that as bad as he's been, they're still undefeated. The offense, this has been a defensive kind of club, as great as he is, for the last couple of years, though, since like Hill left. They've been keying in on that defense.
You know what I didn't say, Sean, was this is the worst statistical season of his career, but he also has the best fourth quarter statistics of his career this year as well. That shows you what he's been doing in the fourth quarter with the money on the line.
You know, and you had mentioned the unders in regular season as opposed to the postseason, which kind of makes sense, right? Because it's like we need home field advantage. It's going to play tighter. Nobody wants to make a mistake kind of stuff. I'm with you on the under. I'm with you. Mark, you said you agree, but anything else you want to add to this? I mean,
I do, Sean. You have to admit, first and foremost, this game will be played with playoff intensity. A lot of what they've done before in the past is circle around the playoff games. And this is one of these regular season games that both of these teams are going to be in the playoffs. They're likely to face each other once again in the playoffs. And when you have playoff intensity involved with this, with two teams with this pretty good defenses, the under is almost always the right side of the game.
Yeah. This is actually a 4:25 start, not the usual 1 o'clock for an East Coast game. So they got it for the old game of the week, which is, come on, Kansas City is always going to be that AFC kind of team. They're going to put center stage out here. Now we got an AFC team pretty much not on center stage here with the New England Patriots. Although a nice little win for them, 4.5-point dogs. The Rams, 4.5, 43. We saw them on Monday night. Oh, Nelly, 5 field goals. Like, hey, let's just do chips. I do not even know what to think about that. I had the Rams. I know you guys are on the opposite side of that one. I had a good open 2.5. I'm like, you know what? I like the coach better. They're home. They're a little more rest, getting healthy. Let's go Rams. Wide open NFC West. Maybe they steal a win here, although Tua had been putting up points, right? 27 a game in his 2 starts back, and yet they totally bungled one away there. You're probably not going to, Mark, talk me off the Patriots here, but I like the Patriots in the points. Give me the Patriots 4.5. Come on, this was a 6 down to 4.
Well, you've got scheduling advantage working for you there that way, Sean. But this is one of these rare times where I'm going to diss the dog, if you will.
Wow.
Yes, I think this dog may have fleas, and you're looking this particular weekend at a team in the Rams that really needs to come hard to make a playoff position here. They're seated number 11 right now. If the playoffs started this weekend, they would be number 11. Good news for the Patriots. They would be number 12. I can't believe that, but they would be number 12. But I'm looking at what the Patriots do and they don't do. And what they don't do is play very well at Foxborough. Coming in here the last 15 games, you look at them in their home games, they've just 3-12 straight up 2-point spread covers. And in their last 8 non-division home games, They have not covered the spread in any of those football contests. And I see a Los Angeles Ram team here coming off a loss, a lot hungrier here now. And it's always what my conviction is at this second half of the stage of the football season. I will make a case first and foremost for what would look to be winning teams against losing teams, especially if the winning team has incentive. The Rams are not quite yet that winning team. That's why they're seeded number 11. But I firmly believe that by the end of the football season, they will be a playoff team. Give me the Rams. I'll hold my nose and lay the points.
Wow. Rams minus 4.5.
Sean, can I add a little fuel to that play if I can?
Sure.
Come on. I was going to ask you about
I
it.
did do a little research in our database, and Sean McVay has been a fantastic coach on short rest when he does not have that full 7 days to prepare for an opponent. On short rest, he's gone 10-1 against the spread.
Nice.
His last 11, again, on short rest. And here's something out of the database for teams like the Rams, who lost at home as a favorite on Monday night to our Dolphins. NFL teams off a Monday night home favorite loss have gone actually 9-1-1 ATS in their next game over the last 2 seasons. So you got something out of the database based on that Monday night game. And you got the fact that McVay is a wizard, even when preparing with short rest. And I got to agree with Mark here. This is a 7-point or more win probably for the Rams on the road.
You got a lot of edges here, Victor, also inside the game fundamentally. You've got the check boxes. Marks would go to McVay from the head coaching position. The quarterback, Stafford, gets the check box here as well.
Right.
The 2 wide receivers from the Rams are outstanding here. We don't know about New England here.
They have no wide receiver room to speak of. Probably the worst one in the NFL, guys.
Exactly. So that's another huge checkbox for the Rams here. So if you want to make a case for the Patriots, you just have to explain to me how they're going to get the job done, and I just don't see that.
Free pick video here.
Mark with a rare road favorite.
A road favorite. But again, how have road favorites been doing this year? I don't know, 70%? Are we really going out on a limb here?
Well, they kind of cooled their jets a little bit here the last couple of weeks.
Right.
Victor had all those numbers he shared before. But I believe the last 2 or 3 weeks, they've sort of choked the road favorite.
They've come back down to earth a little bit, but still over the last 6 or 7 weeks, they have been on a very good run.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
Rams minus 4.5 for Marc Lawrence. Again, hit the like button here on the YouTube channel. These are the free picks. Premium contact gamblersworld.net, where Victor King, a huge high noon total going in Saturday action. I see a Saturday nighttime total, a college football Friday total. He's Mr. Totals. He's got you covered at gamblersworld.net. Go get it. And Marc Lawrence also, I believe there is a underdog game of the year up. NFL.
Yes.
I'm shocked it's an underdog. Who knew?
It won't be a road favorite, I can tell you that, Sean.
Get on board with the premium picks at gamblersworld.net and support the channel, our cappers here, and the show. All right? Least you can do is hit the like button and comment. Let's get it. My fun game here today. And I always kind of get a little stinker for myself. Again, I got to, we do a bunch of videos here. There's usually 9 or more up of NFL free picks. I get the Colts and the Jets, folks. Here we go. Indianapolis, 3.5-point dogs in New Jersey versus New Jersey Jets, total of 44. The line has dropped a 0.5 point because we've gone back to Anthony Richardson. Mr. Steichen, switching things up. He said, we saw them on that Sunday night game. They pulled him. They put Flacco in. They do nothing. That's what the quarterback changes for. Let the kid get his lumps. He's got 12 games under his belt in NFL and in college. Victor's probably going to come back with this. We're talking about off air, where Steichen is something like 13-5 in one-score games, and I was like, it makes sense because they're 7-3 ATS this year, and they're miserable. They're a miserable team. Obviously, I'm going to be taking the Colts here based on the fact that the line. I saw the line come down. I'm like, what am I missing here with this guy? Because he doesn't look like he's ready for his close-up Misterville, right, when he's out here throwing the ball like. Every game, 9-17 from the field, just one big bomb for 47 yards. But how are the Jets? And I was like a Jet kind of supporter, right now. I asked, hey, maybe they can go 7-2 down the stretch here and make a playoff. 3-7 against the spread, 1-4 since the coaching change. Still favored. How are they favored? I guess they're favored because the Colts can't score, 20 points, averaging 17 points a game the last 3 games. That's not going to win you many contests. I'm going to take the 3.5 here with the Colts, and maybe I might even go a little money line because I think the sky has fallen in the Jets, and I will not be shocked if they totally just screw the pooch here and just lose outright in some kind of horrific fashion with like a last-second field goal or something goes on there. So give me the Colts plus 3.5. Victor.
Yeah, you mentioned that the fact that as often as they've switched quarterbacks, it looks like the Colts are at least a 60-minute team. They'll play down to the very end, yes. and they'll, when catching points, usually comfort that number. That good stat under Shane Steichen, in which they are in one-score games, they've gone 13-5 ATS. One more thing that concerns me is that since the firing of Robert Saleh in New York, something has happened to the Jets defense. They've regressed big time since week 6 now. They're dead last in defensive EPA per play, 25th in success rate, 30th in rushing EPA. That means Taylor's going to take off for the Colts and probably be a big running day for the Colts as well. They've allowed the 6th most points in the NFL since week 6. They've only forced 1 turnover. Something has also happened to this Jets defense, and it's not a positive thing either.
I'll get you a second, Mark, real fast.
Sure.
But do you think that he had his, he was a defensive guy, so maybe he was a little more involved than what was probably thought of as him just being the coach guy. Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, what I was going to say here about Anthony Richardson in this football game here, Sean, is I firmly believe the Colts are going to rally around him. He was drafted very, very high. He's their franchise player, and he sort of was dished, if you will, and taken a bench seat for Joe Flacco in favor of Flacco. It did not work out for Flacco, so now they can go back to their savior and rally around him. You're also not beating much here in the New York Jets, a football team that can't beat themselves, let alone lay points to an opponent. The last 13 times that the Jets were lost as a favorite, they're just 2-11 to the spread, trying to bounce back from that. They just don't do that. And you've got Aaron Rodgers, who's getting longer and longer in the tooth with each and every passing game. This is not a good situation here for the New York Jets. I think people are looking more at what the Colts aren't doing, but take a look what the Jets aren't doing. They've been absolutely disastrous, have the New York Jets. I like your side in this football game.
Yeah, it's again, Victor brought up the defensive numbers. The Jets have just not been playing good for whatever reason. You think, we saw the Saints rally around the new coach, and Falcons missed 3 field goals also kind of helped the cause there. Maybe it shouldn't have been a win as it was. But back to Richardson, like I was saying, he's got every game he has a throw, 175 yards, 70 on one pass, 130 yards, 33 on one pass, 71 yards, 32 on one pass. And they won that game too, by the way, where he threw for 71 yards. Every game he just has some kind of a chunk play. He's completing 44% of his passes.
Yep. Unbelievable, isn't it? 44% of his passes.
Yeah.
Let's take a seat in the bench time is what that is.
And they're in the playoff hunt.
Well, you know something? So too are the Colts.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they're the number 8 seed right now. The Colts are. So they're only 1 seed away from making the playoffs here, and a win like this just might turn the season for this football team. We'll see Sunday.
Yeah. Official plays for the show here. I'm going Colts plus 3.5. Marc Lawrence, Rams minus 4.5. Victor King under KC Bills 46. Again, free picks, folks. 21-13 here on our Football Fridays. Not too shabby. So for that, we at least got to get the like button hit. So hit it, smash it, whatever you got to do with it. Notification bells on so you know when we come in here live Fridays at 1 o'clock, Monday Night Football 7 p.m., and all the free picks in between. Be part of the Winner Circle family. And, of course, visit our sponsor, gamblersWORLD.net, where all of our premium plays are listed up as well. But we have comments in the comments section, as we always do. We'll see how we go. John Putnam's coming. We want winners. We got you covered, John. We got 3 of them on board for you right now. Go get it. More to follow as we hit the chat. Skywise is pumped up. Let's go. The Ninja Grandmaster Roshi is here with a bowl of chili. Yes, he is. Clemson -10 versus Pitt. Any thoughts in this game? I kind of like Clemson a little bit. Pitt, where's the offense for these guys? And anytime they've played a decent team, they're losing. They're not scoring. The offense is bad. Like what they had 17 against Cal, like 20. Not a lot of points for Pitt. I like Clemson. I know I don't know how Mark feels about double-digit road faves in college football, but Clemson's still fighting for that ACC.
Well, you won't find me laying double digits in a game like this, a conference game. But Pitt has really gone sour here of late. They started out so strong to begin the season, and we could see it happening because their numbers were beginning to erode, and hence this is what we're left with as football team. Clemson's obviously playing their best football of the season here right now, and they really can't afford to give up any space in the conference here. I would like the Clemson side of the game. I'm not going to bet it for no other reason that they're a double-digit road favorite, but I do not want any Pittsburgh in this game.
Yeah, plus that Pitt quarterback, Holstein, has slipped significantly in the last few games as well. He's not looked good at all.
Exactly.
Next up here, let's see. Desmond likes Clemson. He's on the Clemson again. It might be a little high, but they're in a win now mode because they lost that Louisville game. It was a bad loss. They gotta snap out of it. And hello, Ninja. He's happy to be here. Mars in the house. Who you like for Tyson Paul tonight? Huge fight. Mike Tyson, 58-year-old Mike Tyson catching 275. Listen, if he doesn't knock him out in the first round, you got to go Paul. I mean, Tyson, I don't care what kind of shape he's in. He can't go longer than that. Anything on the charity fight tonight?
No, thanks. Nothing here.
What's Tyson's price, you said, Sean?
I think he's plus 275.
Yeah, he's
Tyson's
almost
what?
a 3-1 dog, yeah.
Tyson's the dog, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 58, Mark.
Well, I understand
The guy's weighs 47.
I understand that. I was going to say that it's kind of hard to lay odds with a 58-year-old boxer, but now it's flipped. He's a dog in the fight, and I'm not going to do anything with the game or the fight, obviously, here at all. But we'll see whether or not Tyson's got something in the reserve here. I doubt it, but we'll see.
You got to give him a puncher's chance because as old as he is, he can still throw a punch, right? So it's all about how you connect on somebody.
It's a stamina that's going to matter here, though. Yes, right.
But does he have the endurance to go? Is the thing.
Right.
I remember watching his fights in high school, like 1990 on like HBO. They'd have it on, and my buddy, I call him Muka. This guy John would come over, and we'd like play fight, like get all pumped up for the fight, and all of a sudden the fight would be over in like 3 minutes. Yeah.
I was in Las Vegas. Who was it that Tyson lost that fight to? And he was like 20-1 favorite, 20-1 favorite. And
Buster
he lost.
Douglas?
Right, but Douglas.
Buster, right.
Yes, and we're in the sports book, and suddenly it got stone deaf quiet in the sports book. And everybody's wondering what's going on. What happened? Well, that word had just come across that Tyson lost the fight. In that fight, he got knocked out. It was like people couldn't believe it. Unbelievable. A sports book goes from bedlam to dead stone silence because Tyson was knocked out. Unbelievable.
Right.
Because how many people had just Tyson money lines all over the joint that game?
That's probably those that why it got so silent. They may have died there that night, right on the spot.
Right. Hey, Sean, before we get to the next question, can we talk about last night's Eagles-Commanders game just for a minute here?
Yes.
Exciting game. Well, boring first half, which is typical in Philadelphia games. It's a very exciting second half. For us, we had a 2-star in the over. We couldn't quite get there. 10 points first half. I believe 34 points second half. But we did double that. We had a 4-star best bet on the Eagles minus the point. So at least we came away on the plus side, cashing a 4-star, losing a 2-star. You're seeing an Eagles team now maturing on a week-by-week basis. It seems like they're getting better and better. They're absorbing Vic Fangio's defensive system on a week-by-week basis. They're getting better and better. They now have one of the best defenses in the NFL, clearly. But this Eagle team has gotten better, and I'll tell you why. Taking the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands as a pass thrower, the Eagles. In the first 4 games of the season, Jalen Hurts threw 30 or more pass attempts in every single game. Since their bye week, he's only averaging 18 pass attempts per game. That's less than 12 per game. They're taking the ball out of his hands. They're giving Saquon Barkley more run. And who wouldn't? He now leads the NFL in rushing yards after that huge outing last night. He's even got more than the Baltimore guy, Henry. He's now number one. So they're taking the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands as far as throwing deep. They're throwing more intermediate routes. They're giving him more rushing plays. They're giving Saquon Barkley more rushing plays. They're leaning very, very heavily into that rushing game. And right now, a lot of people are saying that maybe this team is as good as Detroit, as the best team in the NFC conference right now.
I would not disagree with that, Victor. And you bring an excellent point, how strong this Philadelphia running game is. And it's not just so obvious because Barkley's there. It's obvious from the standpoint that they lead the National Football League in rush attempts per game. They control the ball. They control the clock. And it also rests up their defense. It gives them extra wind, if you will, in that sense. And it's no coincidence that the Eagles have held 5 opponents this year to either season low or second low yardage marks defensively. So when your defense is cooking and your offense is running the football and chewing up the clock, that's a real nice recipe for success. And that's the reason the Eagles are running as well as they are right now. And most likely will win this division.
You know, people are like, oh, the Giants, they've had to pay Daniel Jones and not the running back. Well, why would they pay to be a so-so squad? It was a good move for them. Cut him loose. The Eagles needed him, obviously, right, to kind of get over that hump. They're taking the pressure off Hurts, as you said. They're getting into, again, new coordinators on both sides of the ball for Sirianni, right? He fired everybody. The pressure's on him. He brought in coordinators. No one else to blame but yourself, Nick. They're, like you said, slowly putting it all together. I agree. I'd like to see the Lions because as a Cowboy kind of guy, I don't want to see Philadelphia get there. I mean, I can't. That'll just break me. I can't have that. No. So I'm more for the Lions. But, next week they are in L.A. versus the aforementioned Rams we're talking about, 2.5-point favorites. I want to get on this under 47.5, Victor. So I'm going to ask you, what do you think? 47.5 under, the way the teams have been playing, I think it's a good – because right? Because I look at it this way. We have extra rest already from the Eagles. They looked pretty good defensively. Redskins scored garbage points at the end. And then the Patriots are still a feisty, as much as, Mark said, the Colts are a 60-minute squad. The Patriots are the same thing, right? You see them go to overtime. You see them battle these games. So I'm thinking this line's going to come down after it's a low-scoring game in New England.
In New England, right. And we'll be on the under in that one as well. You're right. The thing that scares me a little bit is that it's been a pretty high-scoring series, actually, Eagles-Rams. I know we're looking a week ahead, folks. It's okay. 57.3 last 5 meetings, 4 overs, 1 under. Eagles against the Rams. 47.5 is the look ahead. You're indeed right about that. The Eagles actually do better on the road as an over team, and they're a better under team at home. And the vice is the same with the Rams. Better over team at home, better under team on the road. But you may have something there at that 47.5. It could very well go down after the events of this weekend play.
And it's a night. That's your Sunday night game for look heads. That's I always try to look at the head. That's your Sunday night. I don't think they'll flex out of that one with an 8-2 Eagles squad.
Well, since you're talking about Sunday nights, of the 3 primetime games, Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night, it's the Sunday night games over the last 3 years that have produced the most under results. I've got now 13 and 35 and 1. That's 13 overs, 35 unders on Sunday night, 1 tie in the last 3 seasons, 73% under the total in the NFL. This year even, they've gone 80% under. The 10 Sunday games have gone 2 overs, 8 unders, only 41.2 points per game. So, yeah, that is a Sunday night game, and that's been a very good indicator of low-scoring results in the last 3 years.
I had to get my pen out for that. I'm going to use that in my show when I talk about it.
Good for you.
I do mention you in the show. I do mention you guys when I write down your numbers. So because they know I'm not smart enough to come up with that stuff. Ninja says more. Who do the sports books want Paul to win? You think they do? Probably, because everybody's going to bet Tyson based on nostalgia. So, of course they do.
Right.
This is, I was hoping to catch the fight later, but my schedule has been pushed back to midnight. I guess Tyson lose disqualification. Ear biter. You bet him to lose via disqualification. I don't think so. I mean, both these guys are getting, I think it's $20 million a piece they're getting. They're getting a $20 million payday. I don't think they'll do something stupid. I mean, good for Mike getting 20 mil. Maybe there's a rematch. Who knows? Thoughts on laying 7 with the Dolphins against the Raiders? Off the Monday night win. I'm not a Raider guy. I thought the Raiders were a under 5-win team this year. And Tua, as I said, the last 2 games coming to Monday night, he put up 27. The offense is kind of getting a little better as it's going. I don't hate laying 7 here. I mean, I don't want the Raiders.
I've got some material in regards to our Dolphins down here. First off, we do have to mention that dating back to last season now, they've lost 5 games in a row against the spread at home, the Dolphins. They have not covered the number now in 5 straight home games. But with that said, we've talked about this a lot down here, being South Florida people. The Dolphins usually struggle against the good teams, the winning teams, and they usually beat the hell out of the bad teams, the less than 500 teams. The losing teams, like the Raiders, are indeed here. Dolphins have now gone 12-4 ATS. That's not bad. 75% in the last 4 years as favorites of 6 or more. So this is kind of in their wheelhouse, if you will. Not only that, but in the last 2 years, they've gone 10-1 against the spread on Sundays against losing teams. So again, thoughts on laying the 7 with the Dolphins? Number one, Mar, don't forget they haven't covered yet since late last season at home, 0-5 ATS. But again, this is their strongest play, beating up on the bad teams in the NFL.
And they're also back in the playoff hunt, Victor. It's amazing what that win did for them. But they're number 10 seed right now. And, you got the second half of a football season to play here with a relatively then healthy football team. All of your players back in your main go-to guys back in place here. I think Miami's going to make a little bit of a noise here in the second half of the season. I don't know if they'll land into a number 7 seed, but I think they're going to make a big push.
Desmond was laughing. It was probably on my Trenton comments. Who knows? I don't know. Ninja says, Master Roshi, take your phone and Google who he is.
I mean, do that exactly right now. Okay, I see.
Like Jake Paul to win. Here we go. There he is.
There he is. Hey. Okay,
what do you
I got
think,
it.
Look at him. That's him.
I see it.
I mean,
I see it,
not
but I
shape.
don't have white eyebrows, though.
I'm gonna say hopefully you're not that heavy. You kind of look like a giant pear, but I don't want you to look like a raisin with toothpick legs. But the beard is it.
I got you.
Dolphins are going to get embarrassed. Miami will embarrass Vegas on Sunday. Well, that is what we think is going to happen here, according to Victor. Skyway says Jake's going to drop him like a sack of potatoes against Tyson. Are we talking about? He's got the pen out for Miami. Especially how the Bills went out last year against the Chiefs. I see a hard defensive game, says Mar. Bills do not want to lose this game. I get it. More defensive, but I've learned my lesson with the Chiefs. You can't take them or fade them as a dog. They just win. They win.
They find a way to win in the fourth quarter, man. Oh man!
And not only, and I hate saying like, oh, you're hoping for a team to play better, like they're due for a good game, but it's kind of like Kansas City has yet to play a good game yet. Like, is this? It's not a spot where we're gonna be like, well, we could overlook these guys. No, because this is a team that could take your home field advantage away. Like, you have to be motivated to play another elite team and appear as a quarterback for Allen and Mo. Like, is this the game they show up and it's old school Kansas City winning 34-17? I mean,
if the Chiefs win this game, they are in the driver's seat for the number 1 seed in the AFC like nobody's business. That means a first-round bye. That means hosting a game against the worst team that's still left in the playoffs. Man, oh, man. And then they're going to go for 4 in a row. Is that right, guys? Or is it 3 in a row?
Really, 3 in a row?
Yeah, they're going for the 3-peat is what they're going for.
Man, oh, man.
Yep.
I mean, they beat Baltimore. You're going to beat Josh Allen. Who else? I mean, I guess the Steelers. And that's, I was going to ask about this for their undefeated season. They play the Steelers at Pittsburgh on Christmas.
Yes, they do.
So who knows if the Steelers keep winning? I mean, obviously they need a couple losses there for Kansas City to give up their home field. But
it's interesting.
That would be the spot I look at them. That would be the spot I look at Kansas City to lose their undefeated season
because if the Chiefs lose to the Bills this week, and obviously they can, Buffalo's played but great, and the Steelers pull off that home dog upset win, then all of a sudden that Christmas Day game could, at the time, decide the whole number one seed in the AFC between the Steelers and the Chiefs. You're right.
Yeah.
The Chiefs, look at what they got up after this game, guys. Carolina and Vegas. You think they'll be up for those football games? They're going to lay double digits in both contests. I can guarantee you they won't cash 2 tickets in a row. I guarantee you that.
I think they are 11 last I checked over Carolina. 11.5 next week.
Well, you know, actually, the propensity for these close call games under Andy Reid as it is, and then you have the natural letdown here. It's hard to make a case for Carolina, make a convincing case, but you weren't going to find me laying 11 points on the road.
No, I'll take it just on principle, like you said. Like they're going to be laying double digits, and they're not. I mean, again, is this the day the offense meshes and they come out and he's quote unquote a Mahomes game and he throws 3 touchdowns? I don't know.
It's also a Carolina team that's in the best shape of the season for them. They're going to be coming in off a bye, and haven't they just won 2 games in a row, the Panthers?
Yeah, nice little win there.
There you go. So, you're right. KC, I got them laying 10.5 to 11 next week on the road against the Panthers, and the Panthers, they're going to be the play.
I see a lot of 10.5s. DraftKings has 11.5.
Okay.
So just again, folks, I do my little look at lines. I'm always looking for next week, because it comes down to those points. It adds up. What we got here? Mar says, especially the Bills went out last year. We certainly this one. Mar says, watch the game in Sayulito, Mexico. You were having a nice little vacation in January. There you go. And he says, if you do a teaser, how many teams do you put in your teaser? 10-team teasers?
I don't play teasers.
No, we don't. I don't play teasers at all, guys. It's hard enough picking one winner, let alone having to pick 10 winners to cash 1 ticket. It just doesn't make any sense.
Right, not when a touchdown is worth 7 points and you only get a 6-point teaser. I don't see the value.
I get people doing 2-team teasers. You're taking 7s down to 1 home team, in those kind of ranges. Just got to win. I get it. You're laying 120. It's better than a parlay, I guess, because you're just hoping the team wins as opposed to covering the spread. And it's it all depends on people. I'm not a huge parlay kind of teaser guy. I do like a little teaser Tuesday on my show because people like this nonsense. I do a 3-team 10-point teaser. There you go, folks. Enjoy it. You know what my NFL teaser Tuesdays are? 1 and 9. College football is 8 and 9. I mean, they look real easy. Look at that. I'm getting 17 points with an NFL team. Yeah, it loses.
You never tease totals in the NFL. If you are so inclined, at least play what they call the Wong teaser. The teaser in which you're going to cross over the number of 3 and 7 when you adjust the line 6 points. Play the Wong teaser. That's taken a 2.5 underdog all the way up to plus 8.5, or it has taken a 7.5 point favorite all the way down to 1.5. It's the only logical time to consider a teaser.
That's it. That is it. Mark says he loves it. Or Mar says he loves Mark. Thank you. Desmond is the 7th like. So we only got 7 likes on the channel? Come, you got to be kidding me. I got to do a refresh now because I got 7 likes. God, I mean, there's 11. What's going on here? I don't know if people are watching on YouTube or the X or wherever, but Colts, Jets, we took care of it. We're taking Indianapolis in the points there, Desmond. And it says, if the Jets don't win, bench Rodgers for the rest of the season. They're not going to bench him. They're paying him. I mean, maybe not next year he don't get paid, but they're all in on the guy. They traded for him. Aaron Rodgers is going to retire at the end of the season, or at least he needs to consider it. Is he really the problem there, though? I mean, Victor gave you all the defensive metrics and how they've been doing. I think that's part of the problem as well. Jets seem like a trap line to me. No non-mobile Rodgers lane 4. No, I agree. I agree, Mar. So do the gentleman with me. There's better games to bet watch instead of the Jets. Go bet darts or hang out with your wife. Darts?
No,
10
no
a.m. Pacific time for which game's that? What are we talking about, Desmond? Washington Huskies -4. Here we go. We got some college football for tonight, gentlemen. Washington and UCLA. I do like UCLA here. They've just been playing good ball. I'm going to,
They have.
No, people I think are blinded by the start of their season when they're getting trucked by Indiana and Penn State and teams that are actually in Oregon or whoever they played. They're all in like the top 5, folks. I'm not going to be mad at a team losing by double digits to a team in the top 5. And even after that shellacking, they went on the road and actually won at Rutgers. They didn't quit on the coach. They wasn't like, oh, woe is me. They won at Rutgers. They won in Nebraska. They're a little feisty. I like the points with UCLA.
I agree with you. They're playing really good football right now, and taking them in this situation here, I think it's ideal. I know they got Southern Cal coming up, but they're not going to look past Southern Cal. They're worried about landing a bowl bid, becoming bowl eligible, and I think this is an ideal spot for them in this game. Yes.
Yep. Again, what's his name? Foster got the bad rap because of his meet the press or whatever he had, and that Hawaii line dropped like 3 points after he opened his mouth, and people were like, "Oh my goodness, this team's gonna be terrible." And he had that bad game, and then they played better teams that look like crap. But like you said, they win here. And this Washington team's a rebuilding squad too, folks. Here, let's not think. Penix is in the NFL. Their big win was a motivational win over Michigan. Do they have that to beat UCLA? I don't think so.
You know what these two teams are, Sean, is they're on opposite ends of the mojo ladder right now. Washington began the season and out-yarded everybody they played in their first 7 games. Didn't have a lot to show for it, but they out-yarded everybody. UCLA opened up just 1-6 out of the gate, and look where they're going. They're headed north, or 1-5, I should say, right out of the gate. So, 2 teams opposite directions going different ways. You got to go with the mojo here.
Yep, agreed. As silly as it sounds, folks, that's right. That's how teams play. People have feelings. Thoughts on Louisville, Stanford over 57.5? I got a 56.5. Louisville, Stanford total. I got nothing on a total. Maybe Victor does.
Well, Louisville's got a tremendous offense. They're ranked top 15 in offense on the season. The Cardinals playing some fantastic. I mean, Tyler Shaw, is that his name? The quarterback for Louisville, having a fantastic season. Not so much on defense, so they've been involved in their share of shootouts. So has Stanford. We've been on multiple Stanford over the totals this year, so you're not going to get much of an argument out of me, Mar, particularly if it's at 56.5, because 57 and 58 are both key numbers in college football. Stanford's got no offense to speak of. Let's be real, but they are number 105, 106 in total defense on the season, so they've allowed a ton of points. The only thing that scares me, it's one of these situations where you got this huge road favorite, and chances are that in the second half, you may want to run the ball a lot. Stanford, eat up the clock, run the ball, get out to that big double-digit lead. They call it game script or game tempo when a double-digit team is winning on the road in the second half, and that sometimes takes away a lot of overs. I may also consider, if I bet the over in the game, playing the over in the first half between these two teams. But you won't get much of an argument out of me here. Louisville's got a tremendous offense.
Well, you look at the Stanford defense, as you mentioned, Victor, here. I mean, they're giving up points in droves. I think the last 3 games they've allowed an average of like 44 points a game, which fits ideally into what Louisville wants to do. So, but again, we're talking about a double-digit road favorite, and hence, for me, the conversation ends.
Real fast, we got them scrolling across the bottom. Our NFL picks for today, if you're just tuning in, we'll start with Victor King because that's the first one there. Bills, Chiefs under the 46. Marc Lawrence likes the Rams -4.5. I like the Indianapolis Colts +3.5 against the New York Jets. Those are the free picks here in the video. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Again, there's only 13-something likes. You can do better than that. The likes are free, all right? Now, if you want to take your little T-Rex arms and dig into your pocket, head to gamblersworld.net and get the premium picks that we have for sale Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday picks all up. 3-day package, just so you want, whether you want Friday or you want Monday Night Football, guaranteed. We show you a profit or we credit you back. 3, 7, 30-day packages, folks. So go get that. Tulane and Navy. He's got Tulane +7, but really Navy is the home dog here. But Tulane 8-2 ATS on here looks good, but Navy's actually beaten these guys last year's in close games, 3-point games. I want to sort of take Tulane because it looks easy to take Navy based on the history here, but I didn't pull the trigger on this one. Again, like I said, I was going to lean Tulane based on the 7, but then you look at how these guys play: 27-24, 41-38, 29-28, 23-13. You notice anything about these kind of games here?
Close.
7 looks like you should take it. Obviously,
right.
They face them enough, but they still don't know how to handle the option and the rush attack, whatever they're running there to, wing T or whatever nonsense the academies are rolling out. But Navy looks like it should be the no-brainer kind of play based on their last 4 games they played.
Yeah, I think Navy has to be a side in this game taking the points. You mentioned Tulane's got the revenge, but what does that matter here right now to a Navy team that's looking to regroup themselves after that perfect start they had to the football season? The one question I got to ask you guys is this: there's a scheduling quirk that's going to happen here, and it's going to be involving Army playing in this conference championship game, and then playing Navy the week after. How could you be in a conference championship game if you still have another conference game to play? I don't understand how they could schedule something like that.
It's their first year in this conference, in the AAC, right? And I'm sure that they never thought of this when they accepted the invitation to join the AAC, Army, right?
Yeah.
I know Navy's been in it in 4, 5, 6 years already, but it probably never crossed their mind that this might actually occur, right?
Yeah. 2 weeks after.
Well, let's take it one step further. Let's just say that at the time of the championship game, Navy has the best record, but if they were to lose to Army, then they would not have the best record. How could they make it into the championship game?
Right.
Well, Army's undefeated right now, so they're in the driver's seat because Navy's got the loss. They lost to somebody in conference play. I thought they lost to Rice, so that kind of knocked them down a little bit. Like Tulane Army's right now would probably be the AAC championship because they're undefeated in conference. Now, as you said, if Navy knocks off Tulane here, then you have Navy in the championship game because they'll have the tiebreaker over Tulane.
True.
Like, and how bad that is if Navy actually knocks off Army in that game or in either of the games. If Army wins the first one and loses the second, then Army's out of like the playoffs. They're not going to put Army in the playoffs. If they're undefeated, they could. I think they'll have to kind of throw them in there, 14-0 as a bottom seed. No, like where were they in the playoff rankings? I didn't even look at the playoff rankings.
I really don't know. I really don't know the answer to that. I'm a little bit confused about this whole scenario that's going on inside that conference.
Who thought that these teams would be having a 1-loss or undefeated season?
Right. 2 military teams. Right.
I mean, Army could conceivably win both of those games against Navy or whoever. Like, say they beat Tulane, right? Say Tulane wins here and it's Tulane Army. Army wins in the AAC championship. And then the next week, is Army going to be like, yeah, we got to beat these guys so they don't get into the playoffs? Like, I know it's a rivalry, but it's sad. I wanted to see one of these guys get in the playoffs. We're going to get UNLV or Boise or somebody. The Louisville Cardinals, we just mentioned them. Yeah, -7, we got it. Eagles' offense is not that good. Don't see them winning at all.
How could you say that?
Good enough.
How could you say that? They had over 400 yards last night, and they had the perfect balance. Just over 200 passing, just over 200 rushing.
200 yards rushing in the NFL.
Perfect balance of offense.
Moneyline Mills is in the house. I was going to wager on the Commanders last night also. Listen, it looked good, but Washington is still a young team, all right? And the fact that they're coming off an upset win, too, off of a hard-fought game. Not an upset win. They lost. They should have won. It should have been an upset win. Mm-hmm. They blew it.
Against Pittsburgh, yeah. Sean, if I can, give me a minute to talk about, since we are Buckeyes, me and Mark, I don't tout the Browns very often, but I really love the Browns this week, heading down to the Big Easy to take on the Saints. This is a great matchup for the Browns. They're healthy at the offensive line position.
Yep.
Nick Chubb is off a week of rest. He is ready to take off against the Saints, who are already off a home dog win. It's the perfect bet against situation. And I pulled this out of the database. 0-12 ATS last 4 seasons. Any NFL home team off a division home dog win. That's what the Saints did last week against Atlanta. They were a home underdog. They won 20-17. There you go. 0-12 ATS. Any home team off a division home dog win. That says to fade the Saints and blast the Browns. Not only that, but the Saints suck against the AFC. The Browns are great against the NFC. Saints 2-15-1 ATS at home in non-conference play. The Saints. Cleveland, not quite as good, but they have gone 9-3 against the spread on the road against the NFC. It sets up for a great Cleveland road victory. Maybe Jameis Winston gets a little bit of big, easy revenge against the Saints as well. Guys, do you have any thoughts on that one?
I think the big, easy revenge is huge here, Victor. It's, the team that cast him away didn't want him anymore. What an opportune spot for him to do just that against a struggling New Orleans Saints football team.
He has said a little bit something about the defense. It hasn't really changed that much since they got rid of Allen, right? It's got to be the same sort of. It's got to have. You're an NFL quarterback. Please tell me you have at least this much of a inside idea of how that defense works and how to exploit it a little bit. It's something you face in practice.
The Saints got their new coach bump win last week. Today,
they barely got that.
They get back to reality this weekend. And let's not sugarcoat that win last week. They didn't deserve to win. They allowed Atlanta 468 yards on defense last week. The Saints did. So they got a lucky home win. They come back down to earth.
He missed, 3 field goals?
A win in which they were solidly outstatted 100 yards in the football game.
Yep.
He missed 3 field goals. They left 10 points on the board. Come on.
Yeah, the Falcons, right. The Asian field goal kicker, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Kooky. Here we go. Over Brown first half there. So from college basketball for the degenerates.
Oh, good for you, Sean. Go get him.
Wake Forest plus 11, North Carolina. I mean, North Carolina's bad. How's Mac Brown still got a job?
Not for long.
Moneyline Mills betting Iron Mike Tyson. He's got to be an old guy betting Iron Mike. That's all the old guys. You got to bet the Tar Heels. Oh, my goodness. I mean, I'm not – I can't bet the Tar Heels. How can you bet the Tar Heels laying points, folks?
I think Mark might have something to say about that ACC game. Huh, Mark? Wake Forest and
all you need to do is just take a look at North Carolina laying wood like that. The last 9 times they've laid double digits. They've lost the money all 9 times. They've only won 3 of the friggin' games straight up. And this is a Tobacco Road rivalry here. I think it means a whole lot more to Wake Forest. And I think Father Time will be knocking on the door of Mac Brown in what I think will be his last year as a college football head coach.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Thoughts on Oregon laying the 13.5. Who do the Ducks got here? Are they in Wisconsin?
Yeah. In Wisconsin, right. Hey, the News Titans for the undefeated teams, right, Mark?
You got it. The deeper you go, the more these undefeated football teams, the deeper into the season they go. When they stub their toe, it almost always comes on the road. This is a pretty tough little venue here to get in and out of for Oregon here right now. I think right now this is a really, really nice spot for Wisconsin to sneak in here and scare the daylights out of Oregon. And
like these other teams, they don't need the sexy points. It's not like Oregon has to go in here and win by 20 plus to maintain their. This could be a dogfight. Nobody's gonna. Hey, first year in the Big Ten, Wisconsin in November, tough place to play. You're the Oregon Ducks. You're not used to this kind of stuff. If it's a touchdown game, it's a close one. It is what it is. They're not going to go down in the rankings at all, unless they get upset. I'm with you. I think it's going to be a close one. I like. It
goes to that philosophy also, Sean, of this time of the year when these college football playoff poll rankings come out. Everybody has this sense about them that these top 4 ranked teams, they're going to destroy everybody every week from now until the playoff announcements are made. And that's not true. It all has to do with pressure. It all has to do with the opponent and the venue. And I don't think any of that favors Oregon this week.
No, it sounds like they've beaten them the last 13 times they've owned this series. No, it's the first time they've probably come to Wisconsin and play in Madison. San Fran, Seattle. I like Seattle here. I've talked about it. I thought San Fran, whether they tuned out the coach or whatever, they're just so used to going 13 wins every year and getting to the championship game where it's just kind of they think they're the Niners. They can just we don't have to cover games or whatever, but they don't have the rings to show for it. I think it's not that the team's going to get fired, but I think that the team is lost or they just don't have whatever. I think we talked about this last week too, Victor. Like it's just
you may hit something here. I would agree with that. They're in an ideal position. Number one, they're off the bye. Yep. They're a little pissed off. They're off that overtime home loss to the Rams in their game before the bye, so they've had time to rest up. It's probably the healthiest they've been all season from the running back position, and I do see Seattle putting the ball on the ground and running a lot. 6.5, yeah, okay, you can talk me into that. The thing I like the most about this one, actually, and I wrote about it in the totals tip sheet, is I like Seattle over their team total in this game of 21 points. They've been a very surprising team this season in regards to their team totals. In their 9 games, they've gone over their team totals 6 out of 9 games, averaging 23.3 points per game. Even more important, in the 3 road games, they've gone a perfect 3-0 to the over in their team totals. They scored 23 on the road against the Patriots, 29 on the road against the Lions, 34 on the road against the Falcons. So I would lean toward grabbing the points with Seattle, but I like Seattle over their team total even better.
You got what I would call the NFL trend of the week working inside this football contest here. And if you look at Seattle, when they've been an underdog in back-to-back games, in a situation just like that, and they're coming off losses in both of those games, they're 17-1 to the spread. Pretty strong number there for Seattle.
You asked for our thoughts. There you go, John.
Yeah, you're getting it. I mean, I like Seattle just because, bye week, I always kind of like getting team off of bye week. They're obviously going to get some guys back, and I just don't like the way the Niners have been playing. And then you look at 5 of the last 6 Seattle's lost. You mentioned underdog. There were dogs in 4 straight of them. I mean, I love ugly. I look at myself every day, so I don't mind taking Seattle here. Look at this. Desmond likes the Niners. He's got the money sign. Nope. The truth. What do you think about buying the Chiefs to +3? I mean, I'm not one to buy points, but I understand the sentiment like, oh, I'd rather push when it's 20-17 and lose by a hook. But I look at it as if your team can't, if it's not winning, it's like going for it on 4th and 1. You can't get a yard you don't deserve to win. 2.5, win the game. You're not taking a 3 to push. If you're taking a 2.5-point dog, you think they're winning outright, right? I mean, that's the way I think. If I'm taking anything less than – I take a team less than 10, I think they got a chance to win outright. So 2.5, I'm not buying a half point.
Yeah, that's a waste of money.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Wisconsin has no offense. They're horrible. I see Oregon picking the QB off a lot. Hey, listen, is it possible? Yeah, but we're just talking about the spot of a 2-touchdown favorite on the road. It's a tough place to play. I mean, it looks that easy, right? Wow, 13.5. They just got to win by 2 scores? Come on, Mar. You know better than that. You know exactly.
Last week, Michigan had no offense against Indiana. You saw the final score of that game, so I would disagree with that statement. Sorry, Mar.
It all goes back to ABO, guys. Always beware of the obvious. And it gets to be real obvious this time of the football season when those top 4 ranked teams in the college football polls play and the public wants to back them. Always beware of the obvious.
Let me call Steve Stevens for a opinion on the Tar Heel game. Steve Stevens. You ever see his show? They had a show years ago on like CNBC.
No.
Well, it was terrible. It was he had some guy flying in, pay him like whatever, tens of thousands of dollars, lost every game, lost every single game. Oh my goodness. Niners own Seattle. I'm all over the Niners. My favorite play of the week.
I can't argue that. They have dominated the series history.
They've won 6 straight going back. The last 6 times they've won them. 6 straight. But that makes sense because they've been good the last 6 years. Seattle hasn't. Before that, Seattle ran off 4 in a row.
There's something to be said for in-season revenge, too.
Yeah. And they just lost to them, what, 2 weeks ago?
A few weeks ago, 36-24 when they played each other. Wild game. A lot of unique, weird scoring in the game. But I believe it was 36-24. The Niners won on the road.
Oh, look at this. A 76-yard touchdown pass. A 97-yard punt return.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, we can say that. I mean, I get 76-yard pass from what's his name. Otherwise, he's throwing for 170 yards in the game for Purdy. Fluky. Mar says, come back. C-Mac will be back with a huge advantage and better receive. McCaffrey is back.
Okay,
yes,
that's right. CMC.
But there's still. I mean, how healthy is he?
Right. They may have given him almost a little bit too much work last week on the road against Tampa Bay. A little bit too much, yeah. So this is a litmus test game for him. How hurt was he? Because I would have swore they would have split carries between him and Jordan Mason and who's the other guy, Garendo, running back as well. But no, CMC got like 90% of the running back snaps last week.
Yeah. And think that he just out of the blue, he's on the injured list to start the season. Like, what? He was ready to play, and then people are up in arms like, how does this guy get put on the injured list or whatever he was 5 minutes before a game starts and he comes back? I don't – again, maybe he's good to go. Listen, you're an NFL player in the league for a few years. I don't think you're ever 100%. You're always a hit away from being 50%. Metcalf has been on me, but he was out too. Is he back? Again,
no, he's back. He's practiced in full. He's practiced in full this week. He will be back, and that is a key for Seattle. I know the Niners have held him in check, but he's there. He's available. He's back.
That's fine because the other kid, Smith Nijbo, has been really good since in his absence.
Yeah, him too, right? Yep.
Again, it was a first-round pick or something for them?
Yep, Ohio State.
All right, we're going to put the proverbial bow on the show here for Christmas early. Listen, hit the like button. You stood around for an hour if you haven't already. Be part of the Winner Circle YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, notification bells on here. Free pick video. 21-13 here on Football Fridays with these two guys. All three of us together, 21-13. It's pretty good. I don't know what you're complaining about. Marc Lawrence likes I almost call them the LA Rams. Oh, they are the LA Rams. They call them St. Louis Rams. -4.5. Bills, Kansas City under the 46. And I'm taking the Colts +3.5. Again, free picks, folks. These are the free picks. Head on over to gamblersworld.net for our premium action, including Victor King's King Creole. What do you got? Friday total winner, Saturday total winner, Saturday night winner. We got you covered there. Marc Lawrence, NFL underdog game of the year. He's got college football up is this for Friday or Saturday? And NFL club play. He's got you covered there. And me, I got college hoops for Friday. I'll probably have I got 3 games only for this Saturday so far. I don't love it as much as many games I put out. I got 3 for this weekend, but I got like 8 NFL. So there is that. Like buttons, YouTube channels, the Twitter world, wherever. Support us at gamblersworld.net. For Marc Lawrence, Victor King, myself, we will see you next week. Gentlemen, have a good winning weekend. Always great seeing you guys.
Hey, best of luck. Have a great week, guys. Thank you.
Always a pleasure, guys. Live long and prosper.
Thank you.